Good morning. So yesterday I talked about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and I said that I like him very much. Man, I got some attacks. I mean, give me a break. I thought we were over this. No, I didn't. But it's still there, of course. Oh, there's a letter D next to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s name. Alright. Well, I see this all the time, of course. It's a Romeo and Juliet thing, I believe. You know, that very romantic story from Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet, they belong to different families, and these families were fighting each other. And Romeo fell in love with Juliet, and Juliet fell in love with Romeo, but they were not supposed to, but they did it anyway. Right? That's the story, isn't it? So there's a letter D next to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s name. I want to ask you, what does it mean? What does it tell you about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? Really, how much of him is that D? Does this define him in any way? Well, I'm sure it means something, but how much? That's my question. No, I think this is a human thing. People like this. They want to put people in their places so that they don't have to really get to know the person. They just need the letter D or the letter R, right? And that's all fine. Then they know everything they need to know. Can't be good things coming from this guy with the letter D. So you have an R next to the name, and that's all fine? Well, that's naive. That's very naive. You know? Well, I mean, you got Trump and the Republican Party in the United States. They betrayed him, didn't they? It was about Trump. It was not about the R. Trump did some very good things. And then he introduced warp speed, you know? But you still think that the R means something. Well, it means something, but it doesn't mean much. Well, that's what I say. It doesn't mean much. Right? It's about the individuals. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been part of D. He's a D person. Of course, this means that he's indoctrinated in some things, right? And he said some stuff in the past. Well, it's not about him, really. He can change, you know? He can change his mind and he can do things because he's an individual. He's not that party. Well, it sort of pisses me off, this stuff. We are still there. But this is what they wanted, didn't they? They wanted to divide us. And that's what they did. Now, when I got to know my girlfriend, she said, you know, I would never have a relationship with somebody who's voting for the Nationalist Party. And I said, well, I did vote for them. Didn't say anything about me, you know. That's the label. So if you're in this group, you're bad. If you're in this group, you're good. It doesn't work like this. It's about individuals. Every individual have their own experiences. They learn different things from their lives. And they become good persons or bad persons. Doesn't mean anything, really. If they have a letter D or an S or... Well, I had a very good friend who was a communist, by the way. Well, this was back in, well, maybe 20 years ago. He was a good friend. We did some art projects together. And it worked so well. Now, I didn't care. So he voted for the communists. Well, he had some strange ideas, you know. So did I. I had some strange ideas 20 years ago. I still have them. Didn't mean much. you know, didn't tell me much about him, because when we started working together on these projects, it worked fantastically well. This is how it is. It's about individuals. It's not about groups and labels. This is a lazy way of looking at life, I think. So I just had to say this. All right. Be good.